I spent days glued to the ticketing app, pulling all-nighters, before I finally managed to snag 2 front-row, center stage tickets to the Starlight Gala, headlined by my boyfriend's idol. I was about to send him a screenshot of the confirmation when his message appeared first. Kiki couldn't get a ticket, and she's a huge fan. I gave her yours. You can just watch the live stream. It's basically the same, and the crowd's going to be insane anyway. For a long second, I just stared at the screen. My hard-earned tickets gone. Then I opened a voice chat with my brother, Asher Chong, the headliner himself. Ash, I need a favor tonight. The girl sitting in my seat? Yeah, can you call her on stage and ask her where she got the ticket? Almost immediately, Asher video called me. The roar of the crowd buzzed faintly in the background. Leo again? His tone was sharp, cutting through the noise. I didn't answer. I just forwarded Leo's messages. He scanned them and cursed under his breath. Front row tickets? I told you I already had VIP seats for you, but you insisted on buying your own because you wanted to earn it together. So, this is your grand reward. Nina, sometimes I wonder if you're too soft for your own good. My throat tightened. Just do me this one favor, Ash. He understood instantly. Years in the industry had sharpened his instincts. The anger in his eyes cooled into a dangerous calm. All right, I'll handle it. Juan will leave your VIP pass at the entrance. Pick it up when you arrive. Tonight, you'll get your revenge. Big Brother's got this. When he hung up, my phone buzzed again, Leo. His voice was flat, with that familiar hint of irritation. Nina, why are you ignoring me? Kiki said you're upset. I took a slow breath. Leo, what made you think you could take my ticket without asking? He hesitated before slipping into that soft, manipulative tone he used whenever he thought I was being unreasonable. I just wanted to cheer her up. She's been so stressed from grad school. Barely eating, barely sleeping. You're her best friend. Can't you be more understanding? His words were almost laughable. She's stressed, so she gets my ticket? Am I her emotional support sponsor now? He wasn't used to me talking back. After a pause, he tried another angle. Come on, Nina. You're not even going to see your favorite artist. You're going for me. So, what does it matter where you sit? Kiki's been waiting her whole life to see Asher. Can't you just let her have this? Don't be so selfish. Each word made something inside me crack a little more. To him, all my effort, days without rest, the excitement of surprising him, meant nothing. My voice came out steady, even though my chest burned. I got those tickets because I wanted to share the experience with you, Leo. Was that really so hard to understand? He let out a frustrated sigh. Why are you being so dramatic? It's just a ticket. Kiki said she'd take plenty of pictures for you. Maybe even grab some signed merch. You'll get something out of it. He thought my anger was about things. He didn't see that it was about respect. All right. Don't sulk. I'll take you somewhere nice later. You can just watch the stream at home. Kiki, and I will keep you updated. His condescending tone made my skin crawl. I ended the call mid-sentence. Then I opened my closet. Inside was the couture gown Asher had sent me last week. Tucked beside it was a golden pass embossed with Artist Family, All Access. I smiled faintly. I wasn't just attending the gala. I was going to make an entrance. That evening, as I did my makeup, another message from Leo appeared. Show starting soon. Don't forget to tune in. Then came a voice memo. Kiki said the fan club's organizing a surprise for Asher. They need volunteers to carry a giant light-up banner outside the venue. They're short-handed. Since you're free anyway, can you help them out? You'd be doing it for Asher, too. I stared at the screen, my mind drifting to the past, our freshman year. He joined a campus singing contest, and I'd stayed up 3 nights crafting handmade banners and light signs to support him. When I showed them to him, he'd frowned. What is all this? It's childish. Don't embarrass me. Then he threw everything into a trash bin without a second thought. And now, to impress another girl, he wanted me to haul around a fan banner for her. I swallowed the bitter taste rising in my throat and typed one word. Okay. Almost immediately, he replied with a cutesy sticker. That's my girl. I knew you'd understand. Wait by the East Gate. Someone from the club will reach out. I stared at his message for a long time before locking my phone. If he thought I'd just stand outside holding a banner, he was in for the shock of his life. I closed the chat window and opened social media. The first thing that appeared was Kiki's latest post, a 9-photo collage tagged right outside the concert venue. Her caption read, Finally getting to see the light I've chased all my life. Thank you to my little sunshine for always being by my side. In every picture, she looked flawless. Flawless makeup, perfect lighting, that practiced sweet expression. But what caught my eye wasn't her face. It was the bracelet on her wrist, the silver one I'd made for Leo with my own hands. The charm still bore my initials, NJ. And then, under her post, I saw Leo's comment. "You're the brightest star tonight." The words sliced through me like a knife. I locked my phone, disgust curling in my chest. Enough. I reached for the black velvet gown hanging in my closet and slipped it on. The reflection staring back at me in the mirror wasn't the same woman from this morning. Her eyes were calm, cool, and empty of the soft warmth she used to carry. I wasn't going to the East Gate. Our family's town car cut smoothly through the traffic, bypassing the endless rows of fans until we stopped at the VIP entrance. Wang, Asher's manager, was already waiting there, immaculate in his tailored suit. "There you are, princess," he greeted warmly, handing me a laminated pass. "Asher's been asking for you nonstop. Let's get you inside before the fans notice. It's chaos out here." I nodded and was about to follow him inside when a voice rang out, bright and fake with surprise. "Nina?"
Kiki.
She was clutching Leo's arm, standing in line with the general admission crowd. Her eyes widened theatrically when she spotted me. "What are you doing here? Weren't you supposed to be helping the fan club at the East Gate?" Leo turned at her words. His expression darkened instantly. He released her arm and stormed toward me, irritation etched across his face. "Why are you here? The fan club's been looking for you. Are you seriously ignoring everyone just to pull another stunt?" His voice was loud enough for nearby fans to turn and stare. Kiki followed close behind, slipping into her favorite role, the gentle mediator. "Nina, you're at the wrong entrance. This area's for staff and artists, not regular fans," she said sweetly, her tone lined with poison. "You'd better hurry to the East Gate before you cause trouble." I watched their little performance in silence, then looked Leo squarely in the eye. "I'm not going to the East Gate. I'm going in through here." Leo barked out a laugh, sharp and disbelieving. "Through here? Do you even know what this entrance is? This is the artist and VIP access. What are you, Asher Chang's family?" Kiki pressed a hand over her mouth, trying to hide her smirk. When she spoke again, her voice was dripping with faux sympathy. "Nina, come on. I get that you're upset, but don't embarrass yourself just to make a point. You'll get kicked out before you even make it to the door." Right then, Wang stepped back out from the entrance, his tone brisk but polite. "Miss Chang, everything all right? Asher's asking for you." His words landed like a thunderclap. Leo and Kiki both froze, confusion flashing across their faces. Wang's gaze briefly flicked over them, his professional restraint keeping him silent, though his expression said enough. I lifted the pass he'd handed me earlier, the golden letters catching the light. "Artist family, all access." "Looks like my pass works just fine," I said with a faint smile. The color drained from their faces. Leo lunged forward to grab the pass, but Wang intercepted him with a firm arm. "Please control yourself, Mr. Shin," he said coolly. Kiki's expression crumbled, flickering between disbelief and envy. Her voice trembled as she stammered. "Nina, what is your relationship with him?" I tilted my head slightly, my smile calm and cutting. "A relationship you two could never reach." That single line shattered Leo's composure. His mind twisted the truth into something filthy, and fury distorted his features. "So that's it," he snapped, his voice trembling with rage. "You're so desperate to get close to Asher Chang that you'd sell yourself to one of his staff. You're pathetic, Nina. Absolutely pathetic." Kiki instantly latched onto Leo's accusation, her face melting into one of false disappointment. "Nina, how could you stoop so low? Don't you have any self-respect?" she scolded, shaking her head in mock pity. "You should know how to be a rational fan. Acting like this, how is it any different from those obsessive stalkers who cross the line just to see their idols?" She turned to Leo with a trembling sigh, as though my behavior had personally wounded her. "You're his girlfriend, Nina. Have you even thought about how this makes him look?" Their act was so overdone it was almost funny. Watching their faces, tight with jealousy, smug with self-righteousness, I couldn't help but laugh. "You two don't have to worry about me," I said, my smile fading into ice. "You should be worrying about yourselves." Then I leaned toward Wang and whispered something quietly. He gave a short nod and stepped aside to make a quick call. Barely a minute later, a member of the venue's security staff appeared. "Excuse me, you two," he said politely. There's been a last-minute issue with your seating assignment. Please come with me so we can get it sorted out." Leo and Kiki exchanged confused glances. Before they could protest, two towering guards were already leading them away. On Wang's phone, I watched the live feed from the security cameras. They were escorted from the front row all the way to the very top of the stadium, to a section so high and far that fans jokingly called it listen-only lane. A massive pillar blocked nearly the entire view of the stage. I smiled faintly. Poetic justice looked good on them. Then I followed Wang down a corridor lined with staff, stopping at a door marked Asher Chang, Private. The moment I stepped inside, the superstar himself stood up. "There you are, you little brat," Asher said, pulling me into a warm hug. "You've lost weight again. Has that Shin kid been slacking off?" I told him everything that had happened at the entrance. His expression hardened, though his tone stayed calm. "They think you slept your way in? That's the best story their small minds could come up with." He ruffled my hair affectionately, his voice soft but carrying a dangerous undertone. "Don't worry, kiddo. Tonight's going to be a show they'll never forget." When the lights dimmed and the music began, Asher rose from a platform at center stage. The crowd erupted, their screams shaking the air. Out of habit, I opened social media. Sure enough, Kiki had already posted again. Her caption praised the concert while subtly shading me, accusing me of using connections to sneak backstage. A moment later, Wang's phone buzzed nonstop. He showed me the screen. Asher's fan groups were in chaos. Kiki's friend, one of the moderators, had shared her post, and the rumor had gone viral within minutes. A new narrative was spreading like wildfire. A shameless woman had seduced her way into Asher's backstage, using her influence to push a true fan out of her rightful seat. The lies multiplied with each repost. Someone even dug up my university records. "She's disgusting, using her looks to sleep with staff. People like her ruin fandoms. My heart breaks for our poor angel Kiki, so strong after being treated unfairly." I scrolled through the comments, my face unreadable as the screen filled with venom. When Asher returned backstage after his first set, he spotted my expression instantly. Wang silently handed him his phone. Asher skimmed the posts, then smiled. A dangerous, knowing smile. "Perfect," he said. "They built the stage themselves. It'd be a shame not to give them some spotlight." He turned to Wang. "Tell the director to move up the fan interaction segment." Moments later, the host's voice echoed through the speakers. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a surprise for you tonight. It's time for a special fan interaction." Asher stepped forward, taking the mic with practiced ease. His voice filled the arena, smooth and magnetic. "Tonight," he said, his smile barely hiding the glint in his eyes, "I'd like to invite a very special fan to the stage, someone holding a ticket that means the world to me." The crowd roared. Then the spotlight snapped on, sweeping dramatically across the front row. It lingered on the empty seats where Leo and Kiki had once sat. The tension in the room built as the light slowly began to move, rising higher, crossing section after section, a brilliant beam gliding over a sea of faces. And finally, it stopped, high in the topmost corner of the stadium, shining directly on one stunned girl.
Kiki.
Kiki went completely still, her wide eyes blinking in disbelief. Then, like a switch had been flipped, her expression bloomed into sheer, trembling joy. In her mind, this was destiny. Her idol had noticed her, understood her struggle, and was now about to reward her loyalty in front of thousands. Leo jumped up beside her, grinning with pride. He gave her shoulder an enthusiastic pat, as if he were the one being called to the stage. Every spotlight and camera lens turned her way. With her heart pounding, Kiki fussed over her hair, straightened her outfit, and began her walk of triumph toward the stage, her every movement radiating self-importance. Asher's voice filled the arena, deep and commanding, carrying easily over the roaring crowd. "Hey there," he said, his tone light but laced with curiosity. "Glad you could make it tonight. But I'm curious about one thing." He paused, letting the suspense hang as Kiki reached the center of the stage, her cheeks glowing red from excitement. "Where did you get your ticket?" Kiki's pulse quickened. She thought it was just part of the act, a playful question from her beloved idol. With perfect dramatics, she launched into her story. "I worked for it myself," she declared breathlessly, clasping her hands as if in a heartfelt confession. "I watched the site nonstop for days, barely slept, and I was lucky enough to grab it. I'd do anything to see you perform." Tears shimmered in her eyes as she finished her little performance. Up in the stands, Leo was nearly bouncing with excitement. She stayed up all night for that ticket, he shouted proudly. That's true dedication right there. The audience clapped and cheered, touched by the display of supposed devotion. Asher smiled, but his eyes had gone cold. Is that so? His voice was calm, but it echoed like thunder across the stadium. That's interesting, because that ticket was made for someone very dear to me. The crowd grew quiet, uneasy. To make it special, I had a unique mark printed on it. Only one ticket in the entire world carries it. He stepped closer, eyes locked on Kiki, whose confident grin was rapidly fading. That ticket, he said, each word deliberate and sharp, was supposed to have my sister's name on it. The arena fell silent. Then chaos. Gasps, whispers, shouts, all merging into a single wave of disbelief. Kiki froze where she stood, her lips parting but no sound coming out. The color drained from her face. Up in the high rows, Leo's smile faltered and disappeared completely. His arm, still raised mid-cheer, hung there uselessly as his mind scrambled to catch up. Sister? Someone shouted from the crowd. Asher Chong has a sister? Wait, then what's with her ticket? The noise grew, a storm of speculation and outrage spreading through the audience and the live stream chat alike. Asher turned toward the cameras, his expression unreadable but his tone precise and powerful. And now, he said, I'd like to invite the rightful owner of that ticket, my sister, to join me on stage. From the shadows near the wings, I stepped into the light. The spotlight shifted instantly, leaving Kiki in darkness as it focused on me. The crowd's reaction was instant and explosive. No way, Asher has a sister? That girl stole her ticket? This is better than any drama series I've seen. Poor sister. Who would do something like that to her? Up in the nosebleeds, Leo looked like his soul had left his body. He stared down at the stage, his mind cracking under the weight of what he was seeing. Nina Chong, the quiet, unremarkable girlfriend he'd never really valued, was that Nina Chong, Asher Chang's sister. The realization hit him like a wrecking ball. Impossible, and yet undeniably true. On stage, Kiki could barely stand. Her face was drained of color, her body trembling as I approached. The defiance in her eyes shattered into panic, then into pure hopelessness. She understood that this was the end. As I reached Asher, he placed a casual arm around my shoulders, a gesture both protective and proud. His voice carried across the arena, calm but commanding. Everyone, he said with an easy smile, I'd like you to meet my little sister, Nina Chong, the one person I wanted here more than anyone tonight. He turned toward Kiki, who stood frozen under the stage lights. Gently, Asher took the ticket from her hand. The camera zoomed in, capturing the foil-embossed name Nina at the bottom corner, proof beyond dispute. Holding the ticket up, Asher's tone cooled. This was meant as my mid-autumn gift for my sister, he said evenly. Unfortunately, it seems it found its way into the wrong hands through rather questionable methods. The moment was broadcast to millions. The tension was unbearable. Kiki's mask finally cracked. Tears spilled down her cheeks as she broke into hysterical denial. It wasn't me. I didn't steal it. It was Leo. He gave it to me. Her voice echoed through the hushed arena. Leo stole it from her. I swear I didn't know. She pointed at him wildly, throwing the same boy who had worshipped her minutes ago under the bus, without hesitation. Instantly, the cameras turned to Leo. His expression was blank, pale, completely ruined. What could he say? That he'd proudly stolen his own girlfriend's ticket to impress another woman? Asher's gaze cut through him like a blade. Leo shouldn't, he said, his voice deadly calm. Then he turned to me, as if clarifying something trivial. Nina, this is the boyfriend you mentioned, right? I took the spare microphone, facing the man I had once loved. He looked so small now, so utterly crushed beneath his own choices. My voice was steady when I answered. Not anymore. The arena erupted. Hashtags like hashtag #AsherChongSister, hashtag TicketThiefLeo, and hashtag KikiLynExposed exploded online. Within hours, the footage of Kiki's breakdown and Leo's stunned face was everywhere, turned into memes and news stories alike. The same fans who had once attacked me now burned with fury at the ones who deceived them. Kiki's friend, the fan club admin who had spread the rumors, was exposed and banned from every official community. Boycotts followed. The internet dismantled them piece by piece. Security escorted Kiki off stage. I later heard she collapsed backstage, sobbing uncontrollably, blaming Leo for everything. Leo, humiliated and booed by the crowd, fled the venue with his head down. His phone blew up with furious messages from classmates and friends who'd seen the broadcast. To calm the audience, Asher added a song that wasn't on the original setlist, my childhood favorite. As he sang, thousands of phone flashlights lit up the stadium, forming a soft sea of light. For the first time that night, I smiled. After the show, my parents called. They had watched everything unfold live and couldn't stop fussing. Then they said the words I'd been waiting for. They supported my decision to finally take out the trash. Wang later updated me that the fan club admin had been permanently banned and the legal team was preparing a defamation suit. When I checked my phone, it was vibrating nonstop. Hundreds of messages, every one from Leo. His texts shifted from shock, "Why didn't you tell me who you were?" to excuses, "Kiki tricked me," and finally to pitiful pleas for forgiveness. "Nina, I was wrong. I didn't know. Please, I still love you." I didn't finish reading. I blocked him everywhere. Ironically, as Kiki was being led away, she was still clutching the bracelet I had once made for Leo. Every scheme, every lie, every ounce of vanity, it had all turned into her downfall. And the prize she'd fought so hard to claim? Just the trash I'd already thrown away. The next day, the university acted swiftly. My advisor called me in, offering apologies and reassurance. By afternoon, an official statement was released. Both Leo and Kiki were disciplined for misconduct and defamation. Their records were permanently stained, and all academic honors revoked. It was the quiet end of their promising futures. Kiki couldn't bear the humiliation. She withdrew from the university within a week and disappeared from campus life altogether. Leo stayed, but it was torture. His reputation, once golden, was in ruins. He became a walking punchline. I often saw him from afar, waiting near my dorm, hoping for a word. One evening, I finally crossed paths with him. His face was haggard, his eyes red. He grabbed my wrist desperately. "Nina, please," he begged, his voice cracking. "Give me another chance. I love you. Not because of who you are, because of you." I laughed softly, though there was no amusement in it. "You love me?" I repeated. "You loved me so much that you gave my ticket to another girl? That you turned me into her assistant? That you called me selfish while she slandered me?" He stammered, his face drained of color. "It was Kiki. She twisted everything." I was confused. I cut him off, my tone firm but calm.
"No, Leo.
You weren't confused. You were selfish. You never loved me. You just loved how I made you feel. You wanted someone quiet, convenient, someone who wouldn't challenge your ego." I freed my wrist from his grip. "You like playing the hero. Go find someone who needs saving. Girls like Kiki are perfect for that." I turned to leave, then paused. "Oh, and don't ever call yourself a fan of Asher Chong again. You're not worthy." I walked away without looking back. His broken sobs followed me down the hall. Back in my dorm, I gathered everything that reminded me of him, a cheap necklace, old photos, his gifts, and tossed them into the dumpster outside. It felt like closure, like freedom. Asher texted me a photo from the Maldives, a picture-perfect scene of turquoise water and white sand stretching under a flawless sky. His message said, "The world's far too wide to waste time on people who don't value you. I've booked tickets for a world trip. We can leave whenever you're ready." Just reading it made my mood lift. With a brother like him, who needed the hollow affection of someone like Leo, my roommates quickly surrounded me, rallying like loyal cheerleaders. "You're so much better off, Nina," one said. "Totally. And that Kiki girl? She's a total snake." I say we celebrate your freedom with the spiciest hot pot in town. Don't forget the best wine money can buy. Our newly single queen deserves it. Their laughter filled the room, and for the first time in a while, I laughed too. They were right. When I looked outside, the sky was clear, bright, and endless. The gloom that had clung to me for months was finally gone. Ending that messy, toxic relationship had been dramatic, but the closure was deeply satisfying. Not long after, word spread that Leo had failed his graduate exams. With a disciplinary mark on his record, getting a good job became almost impossible. He tried contacting me several times, even showing up at Asher's company, but he was turned away every time. He was no longer part of my world. As for Kiki, she disappeared from campus altogether. Her family, humiliated by the scandal, pulled her out of school. From golden girl to family disgrace, she became nothing more than a warning story whispered behind closed doors. I focused entirely on my studies. By junior year, I earned a scholarship for an international exchange program at one of the best universities abroad. A year later, I boarded a flight to New York and ran into Leo again. He looked worn out, older than his years. His clothes were faded, his backpack frayed, and he struggled to shove it into the overhead compartment in economy class. He froze when he noticed me passing by from the priority lane, heading toward my first-class seat. Our eyes met briefly, his filled with regret, bitterness, and the quiet realization of how far apart we'd grown. He opened his mouth, but before he could speak, the woman beside him, a loud girl with heavy makeup and a sleeveless top, snapped, "Hurry up. You're blocking the aisle." She looked a bit like Kiki, though harsher, more jaded. Leo ducked his head and muttered an apology. The woman rolled her eyes, glancing at me. "What are you staring at?" "Checking out rich people now," she sneered. "You should be figuring out how we'll pay next month's rent instead." Leo's face flushed crimson. He didn't look at me again. I slipped on my mask and leaned back in my seat as the engines roared. The plane lifted gracefully into the sky, carrying me toward a new beginning. Behind me was everything broken and bitter. Ahead was a horizon full of light, waiting for me to make it my own.